What's up guys, Nolan here. It's important to remember that Escape from Tarkov is still very much under development, so things are going to change significantly between now and full release. Some of those things will affect core gameplay, which will make some players love it while others hate it, in turn creating a major turning point for Escape from Tarkov as we know it. Today we're discussing possibly the most aggravating change that will be coming in the future, weapon malfunctions. As always, it's important to remember that we are here to test these things and give proper feedback, as everything is subject to change within reason, but we can't straight up block major planned features without testing them, let alone without full explanations first. However, we have gotten enough details to be able to discuss it. Now, the more vigilant commenters out there might already be typing below to tell me that malfunctions are already in the game, which they are, because if you bring a weapon to 0 durability right now in game, your weapon will jam every few rounds. However, this is just placeholder and will change significantly in the future. Weapon malfunctions are very real and very annoying, especially since they can so easily get you killed when popping up at the wrong time. The best chance that you have at avoiding them involves money and attention to detail. Ammunition, parts, the overall quality of both, as well as heat will play the biggest factors in malfunctions. As far as I, as well as the other longtime fans that I've asked, no, environments like rain or mud won't play a factor, but we'll see what else happens down the line, and that would be a good question for BSG. Essentially, the better built, treated, and maintained your weapon is, the better it will run. Realistic standards will come into play as well, where the AKs should last a bit longer and get a bit dirtier than M4 platforms generally, but there will be outliers there depending on your attachments and parts, which will be fun to find. No matter what, as long as you treat the weapon correctly, you shouldn't have any significant issues. This just adds to the list of difficult and intricate things that makes Escape from Tarkov different. The short answer here for all of this is that the days of mag dumping hundreds or even thousands of rounds over the span of minutes with any gun in the game without a single problem whatsoever will be over. No matter what gun you're using, the fact of just firing it too much will cause the weapon to heat up and eventually cause a malfunction. Depending on the type of materials in the components of the weapon, some weapons will be better at handling heat than others. That plays into the quality of the parts and the weapon overall. Every weapon in the game will have stock durabilities as well. The days of finding and buying only brand new weapons will end. Traders will sell low durability weapons for very cheap, while the highest durability or even new weapons will be at a premium. If you want to loot your gear, scavs will likely have very low durability items, while factions like raiders, the United Nations, and the Russian military will have better and/or the best lootable durability items. The same should go for locations as well. The weapons you find in the red keycard room on labs will likely be much higher quality than what you find in the weapon boxes around factory. Magazines and ammunition will play a factor as well. The cheaper and dirtier the ammunition, the more likely it is to fail. You can build the cleanest and most expensive weapon in the game, but if you put crap ammo through it with a bad magazine, you'll find yourself clearing stovepipes, double feeds, or worse all the time. Some people may ask, what's worse than having to practically take your weapon apart in order to fix a jam? How about no longer having that weapon on top of maybe some shrapnel in your eyes or hands? Because yes, Nikita has confirmed in extreme cases the weapon could explode. Something like this would not likely kill you, but you will probably be hurting depending on the caliber and out of the fight unless you have a backup weapon. Last but not least, there's also a complicated and frankly unrealistic outside force that will play a major factor with this, and that is the karma system. If you don't know what the karma system coming to Escape from Tarkov is, then check out my video on that to learn more. It'll be linked below. But the TLDR is that depending on how much of an a-hole you are to people you should not be an a-hole to, RNG will begin to work against you and could lead to you becoming unlucky with your weapon malfunctions. This is of course completely unrealistic, but it's a necessary punishment for the karma system. If that feature is to work as intended, then people need to actually fear the consequences of their actions. So maybe BSG can think of something else there, but as far as I know right now, that's one of the downsides of bad karma, is the higher likelihood of weapon malfunctions. Obviously, killing one person you shouldn't have isn't going to make your guns unusable, guys. You need to really deserve it over significant assholery. Many people were being, pun intended, completely unrealistic with your expectations. Please try to be a little bit more open-minded with these changes. On that subject, we need to remember that BSG obviously doesn't want to kill their game, but want to stick to the original plan. That original plan involves the phrase as realistic as playable at its core. So if these malfunctions really fornicate everything up, I'm sure BSG will hear us out within reason. If you want to give proper feedback, that doesn't mean calling this just dumb, the devs idiots, and then asking them very rudely to just fix it. Another thing to keep in mind is the economy and the core gameplay overall of Escape from Tarkov. This is not the only thing that is changing. The addition of arena, the economy restructure, realistic armor hitboxes, new factions, and new weapon systems all will have effects on this in terms of people's enjoyment. If you don't think think you'll like the game without being able to reliably dump 60 rounders every few seconds in a 4.16 or an AK, well, that's actually a problem because that was never intended to happen in this game without proper consequences, and it is really unfortunate that that playstyle is that popular now. Hopefully people will be able to adapt. For instance, you might end up enjoying the belt-fed light machine guns coming because they were literally built to shoot that much and even more. Plus, you'll still be able to use those 60 rounders, just not as much and not as smoothly. Plus, at launch, maybe the economy will change so much that for you, it won't be a problem to just bring multiple guns as well. On top of all this, the armor changes coming should make it so that you just don't need that much ammo anymore either. If you think the game will slow down too much for you, where you only want PvP, the arena mode should help you out perfectly fine with that, and if you want to learn more, I'll have it linked below. Maybe you think it's going to be too difficult to get these good items. Again, maybe the economy changes in your favor, and with the addition of more factions around Tarkov, all of this should be more readily accessible. You'll just need to get a little bit more dirty to acquire them. The important thing to do when discussing the future of the game and the type of feedback that you give is to think of the full picture at launch. Unfortunately, most people don't have that full picture, and hopefully these videos help you out. Again, Escape from Tarkov is still under development, guys. It's going to play a lot differently at launch than it does today, and we need to keep that in mind, especially with such important things as weapon malfunctions that will affect us practically every raid. That's all for today, guys. Of course, let me know what you think below, but if you need more Tarkov content in your life, then check out these playlists here. If you like this video, then you know the drill. I really appreciate the people who do. Otherwise, I hope you at least learned something, and I also hope you have a nice day. See you guys.